Hello friends, this is Thaddeus, and before I begin, let me just say, hola amigos, este es Thaddeus de Going Nerdy, grande abraços para vocês que falam português. On my last video guys, I said I mentioned Portuguese, and a lot of people reached out, so thank you for those of you who English is not your native tongue, welcome. For those of you who it is, or those of you who are just here for some fun old-fashioned banter, man, have we got some freaking news to go over today. Now, everyone is talking about the two new marquee events, and they're probably going to be marquee events coming to the game. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. But what caught my eye is this little cheater and hacker update that was posted for the 18th, which is 4 days from now. And I'm really curious if maybe I've time traveled or maybe I'm the only person who's seeing this. But I'm going to take some screenshots just in case, you know, maybe that conspiracy theory video did a number on me. But this is from CG Lucifer's Daddy, which I gotta say, it's not necessarily surprising that there's someone called Lucifer's Daddy working at CG, or at least that's their handle. And it's also not surprising they're a clown. Now, if it were Lucy, daughter of the devil, that would have been something totally different and praiseworthy, I guess. But with that, guys, there's been a lot of stuff that the CG is going to do, has done, will eventually do. I'm excited about this towards those people who are cheating, who are hacking the system. And this is what it says. It says, we take cheating at Galaxy of Heroes very seriously and are tirelessly working to identify and remove cheaters from the game. You may have noticed or heard that one of our investigations resulted in a mass banning. Well, sit tight because the purge is just beginning, right? After countless reports and over a year of investigation, they've spent a year on this. We are confidently taking action on hundreds of accounts engaged in and that have ended up on his naughty list, right? Which, again, you don't want to end up on a clown's naughty list for a number of reasons. Least of all, why would a clown have a naughty list? Just terrifying to begin with. It says that we're going to see some changes in the arena board, which there's a few things that make me wonder, right? So it doesn't really go into what things that were done. It just said that whoever is being kicked, whoever is being removed, broke the terms of service. You know that long contract that they're like, hey, sign this, and no one ever reads it? It's the kind of thing that, like, it wouldn't be surprised if, like, Michael Eisner came up and punched you in the face or kicked you in the junk. It's one of those things that no one reads. But these people are essentially in clear contrast or clear violation of it. Now, it does go off a little bit and says, look, if you have an account and you try to sell it, or if you're trying to buy one, or if you're trying to trade it so someone else can advance, that kind of thing is frowned upon, right? Someone else does all the work for you. You buy the account with it completely maxed out, so on and so forth, right? It's one of those things that game designers, game people want to, limit as much as possible. But, it still happens. It still happens. And it sounds like there's going to be a massive change to the arena leaderboard. Now, it makes sense, this coupled with, the whole Grande Arena thing. I'm really curious if the whole finding a shipmate or a shardmate is something that gets people kicked. I don't think that it is, because that's not technically cheating. I mean, it's cooperating, and I don't personally like it, but like, I don't feel like you should be banned for it at the same time. That's kind of ridiculous. But with that, it seems like the arena is going to be kind of open over the next couple of days. So maybe if you haven't been trying as hard as you could in arena, you might want to give it a shot over the next couple of days. Now, I'm really excited about this next news, guys. And I gotta say that I was kind of shocked that we are getting one of these two characters. Canderous Ordo is not a character that I was shocked about, right? He's a character that I've been saying that he's coming for a while. It does leave credence to having this, be episodic. It does let me believe, or lend me to believe, that maybe there's some more stuff that's coming out that is dark side related. Now, if that is the case, I really hope, and I've made no secret of this in the last couple of weeks, that HK47 gets a rework, because seriously, he needs one. He needs one bad, guys. Now, it's possible that this could also be leading up to another Revan. But it seems odd that they would launch another Revan, a dark side Revan, so close to the light side Revan. We could have at least two Revans. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But at the same time, he's going to be behind a paywall. So why do it? Maybe it's because they've got something else coming in February that they're really gunning for. And they're like, you got to get all this stuff in. I don't know. The February thing does seem to make sense. Not 100% sure, though. Now, Canderous is a really cool character in the games. I remember liking him. He's solid. I am a little frustrated that he didn't come with a Mandalorian tag, because that would have been cool. That would have been the highlight of this reveal, actually, if he had a Mandalorian tag and then all other Mandalorians did too. That would be freaking sweet. But not so much. His kit looks pretty solid. His basic essentially attacks twice and a third time, which is phenomenal. It's something that I've kind of been asking for. This is something I like to see with a Clothes Sergeant. He attacks once, he attacks twice, and then he's got that if his target had protection, he attacks a third time and inflicts tenacity down for 2 turns. That's pretty freaking sweet. Overwhelming firepower, deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict offense down. That's pretty awesome. Again, ignores defense. Mandalorian veteran. At the start of the battle, Canderous gains 10% health steal, which is pretty freaking cool. And potency for each Republic and Scoundrel ally. Whenever Canderous deals damage to an enemy, he inflicts damage over time. Now, if you jump down to the synergies, it shows Darth Vader, it shows General Kenobi, and, Zalbar and Mission Val. So maybe Big Z and me are going to have at least some value in the game. Currently, they don't. I really just don't see it unless using them to unlock, Jedi Knight Revan. But I see this as a pretty fun team to add to, a Darth Vader team to run. I look forward to having this character 7 started, because I want to run it on a Darth Vader team fighting the Rancor, because that looks freaking awesome. Just a complete damage over time team. This, throwing offense down for 2 turns, throwing tenacity down for 2 turns. This is going to be a powerhouse of a team. Now, I'm really curious, too, is what this is going to do to Scoundrels. I think Old Republic's going to be fun, and we'll see some really cool stuff coming out of the Old Republic. But Scoundrels really haven't had... there's a lot of great Scoundrels, but I'm not entirely sure that they're the most effective team. This team under Kira... what's that going to do? I'm really curious to see that as well. His second unique, I like a challenge. Canderous deals 50% more damage with interminable assault and overwhelming firepower to enemies who are taunting. Death marked or marked, right? So death marked or marked. That means we're going to have another character in Chex Mix type team. It also seems, and Cubs fan Han mentioned this in his video, it does seem like there's going to be another character who's going to be throwing out Deathmark. And that actually sounds pretty cool. Maybe we're going to see that with Malik being introduced. That would be pretty awesome. Whether he is or not, or when he is or not, we'll see, because that's going to be something totally, whatever. But it does look like this. He does look pretty freaking sweet, and I am excited about this. Now, Bastila, and again, I was shocked by this, because I've mentioned this in a lot of videos. When it comes to playing good versus evil in video games, I've got this really weird moral compass where I have to always play the good guy. Like I always do. And it's kind of frustrating, especially when it comes to like Star Wars games. I always choose the good guy. Even when I'm a bad guy, I'm like, not that bad. Unless, I mean, Red Dead Redemption is weird. I mean, that's a totally different game. I went around skinning horses for hours. But that's not Star Wars, right? And the Force wasn't prompting me one way or the other to do so. Whatever. But like, seeing Bastila as a fallen Jedi, and maybe I didn't see this side of the story, kind of throws me because I don't remember her falling. But her tag, or the description here, it says, strong Sith support who inflicts a large number of debuffs, including shock, stun, and corrupted battle meditation. Now, what's interesting about her is the synergies that they've put her with is Palpatine, Dooku, Nihilus, Scion, and her, obviously. I'm really curious. Now, Bastila has a Zeta ability, whereas Canderous, based on the text here, does not. Bastila says Sith Assault, it has ability block, does 10% more damage and has 10% critical chance for each Sith ally, so that's kind of cool. Wild Lightning. Now this is, I don't necessarily buy into the fact that Force Lightning is a dark side ability. There's going to be people out there who are going to be like, no, you're an idiot, you're totally wrong. There is a light side ability that is like Force Lightning. It's not Force Lightning, but it's like Force Lightning. I don't know. I just don't buy it, right? And I saw someone recently that said Force Lightning is one of the only offensive light or attacking abilities. And so therefore, because it's an attacking ability and, dark side, I don't know, something to that effect. Enough rambling. Moving on. I like that she can shock and stun multiple people. Her corrupted battle meditation. So for those of you who know battle meditation, I 4-starred Bastila. She was a pack that I bought. Regular Bastila, light side Bastila. 4-starred her and put an arena, a Zeta on her. And I was using Zeta 4-star Bastila as my Jedi lead for like 3 months. And so it was a solid number. It was a solid ability and a solid character. I'm really curious about this though. So at the start of Bastila's turn, all enemies lose 3% turn meter, doubled against Jedi and non-Sith, and are inflicted with corrupted battle meditation for 1 turn. Then she recovers 1% protection for each debuff on enemies. So 1% per person is not a lot. 1% per debuff for all enemies can become very potent, can become very powerful. Now, corrupted battle meditation reads minus 30% critical hit chance and minus 30% counter chance, doubled against non-Jedi and non-Sith. I think that's going to be interesting. I really do, because it's going to eliminate a number of really solid characters. And not that I think the Imperial Troopers did awesome against the Sith meta, but I think this is going to make them that much less awesome, right? That counter chance is just going to be less and less. Now, her Zeta does read Bastila, and the character in the leader slot have plus 50% defense and tenacity and gain foresight for 1 turn at the start of the battle. If Bastila's leader is Sith, whenever an enemy is inflicted with death mark, marked, or shocked, now marked and shock, obviously that's Revan and Palpatine, or even her, they both gain 5% offense, stacking up to 100 for the rest of the battle. This ability does not apply to the characters in the ally slot, so it's just the leader and her. That 100% offense is going to be beneficial to really anyone who is in that spot, specifically a Sith who's in that spot. And it makes me think that Darth Revan is going to be coming soon. Now, I don't know. I don't want him to be coming soon because I'm still kind of frustrated with the light side Revan. And if they put him behind a paywall, which they almost certainly will, I don't know. Kind of frustrating. Now, if they do, I don't know. We shall see. Now, I have looked at some of the footage with these characters, and while I think they're going to be valuable, I definitely think they're going to be marquee characters. They're going to be marquee event characters. I think in between the two of them, I think Canderous Ordo, to me, is kind of the standout. Bastila's kit's really freaking cool, but I think Canderous is going to really benefit a lot of factions that really kind of need it, right? That really kind of need it to step up. Now, I'm also curious to know what this is going to do for the whole Grande Arena. Now, if Darth Revan is maybe a character reward for the Grande Arena, that would be pretty sweet. I would be okay with that, right? Because, if you're in the last place, maybe you don't get any shards. If you're in the first place, maybe you get 15 or 12 or whatever, right? And they're pitting you up against people like yourself. So maybe that would be cool. I really think that would be sweet. I'm not super impressed with Bastila Dark Side. And again, it might simply be because I have more of an affinity to the light side. I like the good guys a little more than the bad guys. They've got some great bad guys in the Star Wars universe, and then some really frustratingly pathetic good guys. But I still like the good guys. I don't know what it is. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about these kits? What do you think about this whole cheating thing? Were you someone who got an account banned from it? Leave a comment in the section below. Join us on Discord and let me know. I'm curious to talk to you. Hizo dem sido Thaddeus SWGOH Nerdy. Y como siempre, meus amigos, stay nerdy.